What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we're going to talk about Sean Obrien, the Teamsters president. Last month, he spoke at the Republican National Convention. I finally got around to watching his speech. It was about 17 minutes long or so, give or take. And I was asked what did I think of him speaking at the RNC. And I haven't really gotten around to talking about it. I'm going to talk about it tonight. First, let's talk about speaking at the Republican National Convention. I don't think it serves any good purpose to speak at the Republican National Convention if your goal is to attain policy changes, because nobody in elected office on the GOP side supports any legislation that is worker friendly. Not one of them. No one has placed a vote in the affirmative for the PRO Act or any legislation that came through to help working people. So let's put that out there right off the rip. So now you're going to speak at the Republican National Convention. Can it be that you're trying to get some policy? If it is, I think it's a fool move, because I don't think that the Republican Party leadership and elected officials are beholden to workers at all. I think they're sellouts to big business entirely and wholeheartedly. I don't believe that there is a single elected Republican that will ever do legislation to support working people. That's just, I'm gonna put that out there. I haven't seen it. In this aspect, I'm from Missouri. You got to show me. I'm not gonna trust you because you just said some flowery words. That's point one. So then you got to think, okay, well, if it's not to gain policy, then what is the advantage you're trying to get? Could it be a union contract at Amazon and help from the government? Perhaps. Again, I think that's a fool's play, though, because Trump is anti-union. He has fired unions. He joked around with Elon Musk just weeks later after the convention about how cool he thought Elon was because he fired a bunch of workers who went on strike to try to get a better pay. So I don't think you're going to get that help either. So then what's the purpose? I don't know what the purpose is, but I can glean a positive. I watched the speech, and there was a portion of it where he was doing both sides-isms, and he has a point 8 years ago, maybe. He has a point. Because I will say that the one positive that I take away from the Biden administration is they have been hella pro-labor, super pro-labor. They've done as much as they could. I always want more. Let's just be honest. I don't think you're ever doing enough. But as far as presidents go and as far as administrations go, the Biden administration has been pro-labor. There's no question about that. So maybe had he decided to make this move and equate the two parties, he could have done that 10 years ago. I don't think it works. I don't think we're in that situation today, because today the Democrats are clearly the pro-labor party. They have shown it. The selection of Tim Walz really showed something. To me, especially, I am a believer in policy that benefits the many. The selection of Tim Walz was a ringer to me to say, oh, maybe things can be different. Now, still, proof is in the pudding. Elections have to be won. Pressure has to be applied. Policy has to be proposed, voted on, and passed. We're not children. This isn't fantasy land where you win the election and everything magically happens. It's not how it works. So to make the false equivalency, I think falls flat today. So I didn't like that. But what I did take away that I liked, he spoke strongly to a room full of people who don't agree with him about working class issues. The meat and potatoes of his speech was about how, and he didn't use all the right language because he stuck to just elites and didn't really hone in on the billionaire class that is really pillaging. But still, his message was very much pro-worker to a room full of folks who don't agree with him. And you could see that the applause were dying down. He was still catching applause here and there, but you could see the applause were dying down. But he did speak some harsh realities. And so I think what you can take away from that is that there are working people who are watching that are on the Republican side, who are conservative leaning, who got some real truth in there about what the real causes of the problems are. And so I think that's the positive you can take away from Sean Obrien going to speak at the RNC. Do I think it was a good tactical move? No, but I'm trying to take a positive out of a bonehead misstep. And that's the positive that I take from it, is that some working folks on the right-hand side who otherwise wouldn't hear the message got to hear a very strong pro-labor message after the nonsense false equivalency. That's my opinion on the Sean Obrien thing. We have issues in this country that they cross political lines. We have issues in this country that affect the masses, and that message has to get to the masses. And we have to work on how we talk to each other. And we have to be able to talk to the other side respectfully, even when you feel angry because some stuff that's being sent back your way isn't so respectful. You got to grant grace to those who maybe don't have the same access or the same influence that you do, and haven't come to the same conclusions as you have. People view the world differently. But we can work collectively to get to a better place, and that's what we have to do. That's what we all have to do. My name's Eric. You're watching Union Minded. Remember that the fight's not left and right. It's up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one, teach one. Get out there and reach one. And remember, there could be no union without you and I front and center. So let's go.